Hello air signs, Amy Energy here with a tarot message for you. We are going to do a collective message for all air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and then we will clarify the reading for each individual air sign. I will leave a pinned comment with timestamps, and let's get into it. All right, for my air signs, what do we need to know right now? We have the Six of Winter. Positive changes are on their way, a welcome relief from troubled times, traveling or relocating. We have the World, Major Arcana, a brilliant success. The freedom to go in any direction, a journey that is now complete. All right. And we have another major arcana, the Wheel. Delays are over, sudden or unexpected good luck, a new car or travel. So right off the bat, air signs, you could be moving, but there is big changes happening. All of the cards that we've pulled so far symbolize some sort of change or transition that you are going through. You are closing out a chapter in your life and you are opening up to new potential. Your advice here is to really fully open yourself to the unknown, to the magical, to things being better than you could have even imagined them being. All right, I definitely feel like you have a very resilient spirit here with the Six of Winter. Your strength is the Nine of Autumn. Reward yourself for all your hard work, being happily and successfully self-employed, cherishing your alone time. So definitely for my air signs, it is important for you to have time to yourself. And I feel like your strength is that you do know yourself. And this may have been a journey to get to this point where you feel that you truly know yourself, but this is a strength right now. You know what you need. You know what makes you feel good, what makes you feel healthy. So this is all about you utilizing that strength as you transition into this new chapter. All right, you are moving through another major arcana, the Chariot. Success that comes from dedication and self-discipline, celebrating your accomplishments, being in the spotlight. So it is time for my air signs to be out here taking up space, taking what is rightfully yours, taking what you have worked for, and not feeling any type of way about it. Something here is rightfully yours. The Three of Autumn is coming out, and this is something in your life that is changing right now. This says follow your passion when it comes to your career. Be the best at what you do. Being compensated for your creative ideas. It's time for you to get the recognition that you deserve. Okay, air signs, I love the start to this reading. I cannot wait to clarify these messages for all of my air signs. This is absolutely beautiful energy. Anything that hasn't been working in your life, I feel like you're moving away from that. You're moving toward what has been working. You've been very dedicated. I feel like, you've been on this path. You've been releasing the things that no longer serve you. You've been going through this transition, and you're finally getting to a point in this journey where I feel like you are seeing true monumental change, and you are being recognized by your peers, by the people around you, for all that you are and all that you do. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to first get into this for Gemini. All right, Gemini, let's clarify these cards for you, Gemini, and see what is going on. Clarifying the Six of Swords, the Six of Winter in this deck with the Star. This is beautiful energy, Gemini. I love the Star coming out here with the Six of Winter. You know, this is you moving into a place where you are going to be able to feel more comfortable being vulnerable, being open and honest. and showing up as the most authentic version of yourself. All right, so you may have had to move away from certain situations where it wouldn't have been safe for you to expose yourself in this way. But now you are stepping into a whole new world. This is your world, right? The world is your oyster here. And there are conflicts. There are situations that are going to have to be dealt with. But I definitely feel that you have moved into this energy where you are so much more capable of dealing with these situations, right? With the Five of Wands, this is nothing. This is, maybe some petty drama. You might have to just put someone in their place. Don't mind my dress, Gemini. This, I had to put a little pin in the back because it was just falling off my shoulders and now it looks all weird. So, you're not here for my dress. It doesn't matter. You're here for this message. And this message is extremely positive. 21 and 5. So that comes down to an 8. And, we just had the 8-8 portal, which, isn't really my thing. But, we've also had some really incredible astrology at this time. So I'm definitely feeling like, this is your moment, Gemini, to really show up, to address the conflicts within and address the conflicts, that are showing up in your outer world, because the things that are showing up in your outer world are often a reflection of things that are going on inside. All right, your advice here, the Six of Pentacles, clarifying the wheel. So this is about you ending situations where you've been overgiving. This is about you, being mindful of reciprocity, whichever way that goes, right? If you feel like certain situations have been imbalanced where you've been receiving more than you've been giving, then we're addressing that. Or if you've been giving more than you're receiving, that's what you're addressing. And I feel like you're entering into a new era of your life where you're going to be able to be more in your integrity. You're going to be able to release any bitterness and resentment that you've been carrying. All right. 9 of Autumn. Yes, you know who you are, Gemini. You know your abilities. You know that you bring a lot of value to the table. And you are going to be invited to share what you know, to share who you are with the people around you, people in your community. This could also be your family. But this is recognition for you. This is you reaching a point where you're feeling good about all that you've accomplished, and the people around you are also, recognizing all that you've accomplished, recognizing and respecting the work that you've put in. Something here is well deserved, Gemini. We have the Page of Swords coming out with the Chariot, and this is you getting curious about the path ahead. What you're moving through right now is, you may be looking for a change. What's the next new thing for me? What's the next thing I'm going to get into? And this is you being curious because you have options. All right. I do want to warn you against thinking too small, right? This is you being very open-minded about what you are capable of achieving, because you've already achieved very much. Okay. The World coming out, which we already had the World show up once, right, for all air signs, and now it's showing up for you. There are new connections. For some of my Geminis, we're leaving one work environment and we're entering into a new situation where we're going to be working with new people. All right, so there is a cycle, a pattern, a chapter, something closing out in your life that's making room for new connections, people who are going to have the capacity to appreciate you in the way that you deserve. So, Gemini, it is important that you address the conflicts in your life and that you set firm boundaries with the people in your life, because not every person in your life is going to be able to walk into this next chapter with you, right? Some people are only with us for a season, and there are new people here, people who are going to be able to, as I already said, they will actually have the capacity to recognize all that you are, because certain people that you've been around or that have been in your energy, you know, they simply are not capable of even understanding where you're coming from to a certain extent, because they are not on that level themselves, right? And there's nothing wrong with them. They need to go on their path and do their thing, but you need to break free. So that's what's over your reading here, Gemini, is break free. Try different ventures and experiences as a way to grow and learn. All right, that is the messages that I have for you, Gemini. I hope that they resonated and I hope that they helped. I offer one-on-one readings, so check out the link in the description, and I will see you on your next reading. Take care. All right, let's get into it now for Libra. Let's clarify these cards for Libra. I'm so sorry, Libra, but the itching of the nose had to happen. Let's go ahead and see. Let's clarify the Six of Winter for Libra. Okay. Wow, we have the High Priestess and the Sun coming out for you, Libra. So, you know, there is this truth that you know. This is a truth about yourself that you are very aware of, but you haven't been, you know, really trying to show this off, right? Even though I feel like this is a gift that you are meant to show off, it's like you've been keeping something to yourself until you get into the right environment where you know this is going to be received with the proper respect, okay? So this is very wise, but I feel like you've been healing, right? And, you know, people may notice subtle little things about you, but you haven't been really talking about this. You haven't been, you know, telling everybody, like, I'm on a healing journey. You know, it's like you've been healing and connecting with yourself and just achieving this wholeness all on your own in your private time. We have the Knight of Cups here with the World. So there could be a new romantic cycle beginning, a new romantic offer coming in for you, Libra. We have Judgment here. So, you know, this comes as you move on from the past, as you really see the past for what it was and move into a calmer, more aligned space. This is attracting new love, and it definitely could be romantic here. Okay, we have the Ace of Wands as your advice. So this is, you know, really saying follow your desire. Do not let the grief and the pain of the past, you know, don't fill your cup with grief and pain from the past, right? But with this Ace of Wands, you know, it's almost like the Ace of Cups and the Five of Cups is on the bottom of the deck. So I do feel like what we're having to understand is the lessons that we've learned in love. But as we move forward in love, I feel like we're taking a different approach. We're moving toward what we desire, you know, because I do feel like the cups are all about love, emotion, overflowing here, where the wand is all about desire. This is us being motivated. So I do feel like some of us could be more driven by, you know, more of like a carnal lust than, you know, love and emotion. And that could be a change for you, Libra, but I feel like it's a positive change for you to go after what you truly desire, and let the rest come as it will. But this is about you also feeling this desire, honoring this desire with or without a partner, right? This is you really just entering into a new era where you are owning your power and you are owning the power of your desire. And, you know, I just kind of am seeing you, Libra, like walking into a room, and it's like you could be wearing the same clothes you always wear, doing your hair and makeup the same way you always do it. but you walk into a room and something about you has changed and nobody really knows what it is, but it's just you kind of turned on that desire within you, and it really makes you very attractive. And whatever you desire, you may desire, you know, something sexy, you may desire something, you know, that's going to help promote yourself, your career, a business here. But either way, you're walking in rooms with this confidence and this sexiness that is really attractive. It brings opportunities in, and it brings people in. All right, we do have the Hanged Man coming out, clarifying the 9 of Autumn. So, you know, you are someone who knows when it's time to walk away from a situation. This is a strength you've had. I feel like, Libra, you've been taking it easy for a while. And you may be like, taking it easy, I've been working hard. But I mean, so for some of you, you may not have been taking it easy necessarily, but you've been keeping it silent, keeping to yourself, maybe even feeling a bit stuck. But also at the same time, you know, this was the time that it took for you to reach this moment of enlightenment, to know what you need to know, right? We know what we need to know when we need to know it. And I feel like you are coming up on this moment where you are going to know, okay, it's time to go. I've been stuck here, I've been hanging upside down, and now it is time for me to move forward. And that could be happening for you like this week whenever you're watching this video. All right, but you are going to have to address your insecurities. For some of you, this is addressing financial insecurity, and you know, so you're going to have to put a plan together. How are you going to address this? What are you going to do? Maybe you're going to have to go and get a job that you really don't want, right? Like recently, I had to get a job in a factory. I really didn't want that. I fought hard against it. I never wanted to work in that type of environment, but I needed to get myself from point A to point B, so I took that job, and I'm going to work this job for a certain amount of time that I designate. I get to say how long I'm going to do it and why I'm doing it, and every time I don't want to do it or I think this isn't really on my path, you know, it's like, that job doesn't matter. What matters is my reason why. Why am I doing it? It's getting me from where I was to where I need to be, and it's going to serve its purpose. It doesn't need to be forever, but there is an insecurity that needs to be addressed. For some of you, it's not financial. For some of you, you know, it could be body image issues. It could be, you know, just not feeling good about yourself for any reason here, feeling insecurities, letting your insecurities drive the vehicle is not going to get you to a beautiful destination. All right, so we are having to address these things because we're not carrying these things into our new beautiful future. Our future is bright and beautiful, abundant. So make sure you're saying your affirmations every day. I am beautiful and everyone loves me. All right, from beautiful Louise Hay. So if y'all are not familiar with Louise Hay, maybe someone needed to hear that message to go and get a copy of her book, You Can Heal Your Life. But definitely be saying your affirmations, and something here is changing within your family. I feel like there is going to be some discussions. For some of you, this could be with a romantic partner, someone from your past. But for most of you, I'm feeling like this is family. This is like getting together and having a talk around the family dinner table. This is, you know, you reaching a point where you're okay with being who you are and engaging with these people in a way that is healthy and feels good for you, and you know, kind of releasing any pressure that you've put on yourself or any insecurities that you've held on to because of your past experiences. All right. And, you know, for some of you, you may not be able to talk to your family this way. This could be you talking to a therapist or talking to trusted friends, people in your community who have had similar situations. This could be you joining a support group to try to move through these emotions and have a place where you can express and process this. Okay, either way, we're working through our insecurities and we're moving out of a time of feeling stuck, feeling like it wasn't time for us to move forward, and we are going to definitely be soon feeling like it is time to move forward, right? Maybe not this week. I feel like this week you're going to start feeling the energy start to shift, and maybe by next week of whenever you're watching this reading, you are definitely going to be, feeling when it's time to really move and act on something. So whenever you're watching this for the week ahead, this is what you need to focus on, is just setting your sights higher. Increase your standards and expect more for yourself. Don't settle, okay, Libra? Do not settle. Expect the most for yourself. Whatever you desire, right? We are following our desire. We are owning our desire. We are holding it without shame. And we are moving into a beautiful future. A beautiful future is what I meant to say. But maybe for some of you, you're moving into a beautiful feature. A feature film? I don't know. Let me know if that meant anything to you in the comments below, and let's go ahead now and get into it for Aquarius. This is for Aquarius. Let's clarify these messages for my Aquarians. Clarifying the Six of Winter with the Nine of Swords. Whew. So Aquarius, you are going through this transition, and you could be having sleepless nights. You may have even had some nightmares recently. So I definitely feel like, sometimes nightmares can be a part of our dream work, and you may be struggling to understand, what's coming up for you right now. I definitely feel that. And I feel like a lot of what's coming up for you right now, Aquarius, does have to do with certain people that are in your energy, certain friends, people who, you're sharing a table with, you're clinking wine glasses with these people. We got the Five of Cups here. My Aquariuses are releasing some really heavy stuff this week. Whenever you're watching this, I feel like, Aquarius, you could really be, navigating some grief, some disappointment here with the Five of Cups, but you are making a choice to leave this in the past. You could be feeling like enough is enough. Like, I've got to just, there has to be more than this. Like, you're done feeling this way. You're done being stuck in disappointment. Your advice, Knight of Pentacles. So this is saying, you could be feeling pressured because there's a lot on your mind and there's a lot in your heart that doesn't really feel good right now. And you could be feeling pressured to make an impulsive decision, to do anything to change this, to feel better, to feel different. This Knight of Pentacles is saying, you don't want to make impulsive decisions right now. Something here is going to close itself out. Something, I feel, will reveal itself and will almost take care of itself if you just be a little patient, okay? So it's very interesting. It's reminding me of a situation at my work where, I went to HR because there was a situation with a woman I was working with. She was a treacherous human being, and she was doing insane things, saying, discriminatory things about certain groups of people, like doing insane things. And, I went to HR and complained about this lady. And, when I went, I was super emotional and, said all the stuff that was going on. But then she just left the job the next day on her own, because something didn't go her way. So it was like I went and put myself on the chopping block, and then she, like, you know, if I would have waited one day, she would have been gone anyways. And you know, so that's like kind of the situation I'm seeing for you, Aquarius, where, like, you know, maybe waiting to take action, not doing anything too impulsive here or acting from a place of emotion, being very practical about the moves that you make right now, because things can actually just kind of work themselves out in a way that you won't have to, you know, put your neck on the line for something. All right, let me know in the comments if that resonates for you, Aquarius. We have the Strength card coming out to clarify the 9 of Autumn. So, you know, your strength is coming out, strength, and the 9 of Autumn. And I definitely feel like you are someone who is very strong. You know, you could do something that requires you to be very selfless here with the Strength card. And I do feel, you know, if you follow Kyle Gray at all, and he works with the angels, and I was really into his Raise Your Vibration Oracle, and you know, he had said something that when you work in certain occupations, because people would reach out to him and be like, how, if I'm like a nurse, an ER nurse, and all I see is like tragedy and devastation coming in, like, how can I raise my vibration, you know, and have all these positive affirmations all the time when I'm seeing tragedies? And you know, he had said something that there is a certain level of protection that you get when you are doing that type of work. There is a sort of protection that you have. So I do feel like, you know, and you recognize this. Your heart is really in whatever you do here, Aquarius, and for that reason, because your heart is really in it, you do get this energetic protection. And you could be also just very good at protecting your own energy, knowing your own worth. And that is a great strength to have. You know your worth, and so you will not settle, right? Even when, you know, your mind is endless here, as I am seeing in this reading, you're still not willing to settle. You're still gonna, you know, be patient with yourself and, you know, move from your heart. So this is a beautiful strength, Aquarius. And we have the 4 of Wands coming out with the Chariot. And this is you moving into harmony, into balance. There is a celebration here. You are here with another person. And so I do feel like this is you coming together with someone, getting clarity on a situation that involves another person. It could be romantic, but it doesn't have to be. This could be anyone in your life. But I definitely feel like you're reaching a place of balance and harmony. And this is really beautiful, because I feel like this is someone who really sees you. They see the heart that you put into what you do. This is someone who very much values your heart, whether it's, you know, a very good friend. This is someone coming into your life that is going to make you feel very good. Okay, and we have the Hermit coming out. So, you know, I do see you, Aquarius, even though Aquarius is the sign of like groups and communities, I feel like you're going into a bit of an era right now where, you know, you're kind of talking to who you have to talk to. You're communicating in a profound and impactful way with the people that you need to communicate with. But I definitely feel you stepping away from certain conversations that you don't need to be a part of, and you could be focusing more on your one-on-one relationships, right? So it's not to say you're just focusing on one person, but you might be focused on, you know, I want to go out with my friend and just me and my friend go have lunch so I can connect with them. And then, you know, spending time just me and my partner so I can connect with them. Right? So you're spending time with people one-on-one and really connecting with them so that you can really hold the most space for them and they can hold the most space for you. Okay? Really beautiful energy, Aquarius. Let me know if it resonated in the comments. Check out the link in the description box. Last card, Aquarius, is have faith. Your prayers are manifesting. Remain positive and follow your guidance. All right, Aquarius, Thank you so much for being here and receiving this message. Until we meet again, I love you. Take care.